Alrighty then. Anyways.
Charge my phone. I'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome to the Mikestand. As of course, Apex has stepped away for a moment, so he can charge his phone. So, welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Sunday, August the 10th, 2025. Meaning it's our weekly look back at comics history. We'll talk a little bit more about, of course, what will be on hand for tonight. Once Apex gets back. So, anyways, hope everybody's had a good weekend. Friendly reminder to everybody, of course, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention that we talk about, feel free to comment and or ask questions. So, anyway, well, it looked like we did have one comment already. Well, Rex Devil Flyer Momentum here. He came in. Of course, he came in at like 2:45 a.m. according to the thing there. So
he's up all day tonight. He's up all hours.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Every time we see him, he's live streaming.
Yeah, and I know, and I know that he did like and share. So thank you for that, Rex. Well, I do because usually there's only one thumbs up when I start, but there were two, so I know somebody must have. So it's most likely him. So
that's right.
Again, another friendly reminder to everybody that if you haven't already, of course, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. And before we get into, of course, the content at hand, I'm going to hand it off to Apex here for a moment to let him, I think you know the shtick, right? Promote any projects you're doing.
Yes, we know the drill.
I think you know the shtick, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be starting up a new show starting Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. My first guest will be Rick Piper from Cross Comics, and the show is called Hello Comics Gate.
Huh. Okay, now clarification. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Clarification. 10 a.m. what? 10 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m.
If you'd stop, I'll tell you.
Okay.
10 a.m. Central or 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're on the Pacific, which you are, that would be 8
a.m. 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So
Rick's my first guest. I told him to come in at 10:30, but he can come in at 10 if he's up. He's awake.
Well, he's I think he's up in Canada. He's in Hamilton, Ontario. So I think that's actually
New York time.
That'd be like 1 hour. Right. Yeah, 1 hour ahead of you, basically.
Yes.
He's it'd be like 11 o'clock for him.
Yeah. So I'm excited that I'm going to promote more people. So I since I have my MSN windows are working, but my Google windows are not. But at least I have my MSN windows. Microsoft Network windows are working fine. So I got to get my Google windows set up better, I guess, through the Geek Squad, whoever wants to repair my laptop for me. So at least my Windows and my MSN network is good. Thank goodness. I could share things.
Well, but your overall computer problems they're more or less resolved, right?
Right, except for Google Windows. They don't work.
So basically, the issues you were having the last time I saw you on here, those are I've actually had some issues the last few days because Thursday and Friday I had to split my show into two parts because we had power outages here.
Yeah, I heard the rolling outages, the brownouts. They call it the brownouts, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything like what on Thursday when it happened. We found out that it was due to the fact that I guess a a wire had broke loose
Oh no.
and then landed on somebody's house and set the house on fire or something like that. So
Yeah, that's awful.
yeah, but and also and even though I've been kind of hearing about it a little bit, there's another little thing that's going on that as YouTubers we should be a little bit at least aware of. I don't know if you heard about it, the whole ID verification thing.
ID verification. Make sure you're not a bot.
Well, no, it's even worse than that. They're apparently they're trying to make sure that you're not like a kid or something like that.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
what they're doing is if they suspect you enough, they'll like cut off your channel and you'll get locked out of like advanced features and stuff like that if
So I got to show them my ID, right?
yeah.
No
And a
problem.
lot of people are not happy about it. I've been kind of hearing about it, but it's not something I'm not too technically savvy anyways.
Sure.
I know Deep Humor has been covering it a lot, and I think a few others like the Quartering have.
Yeah.
But I'm just so untechnically savvy that it's all pretty much Greek to me. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I do have. It's just I hadn't started using it much, but I might actually start. Well, I don't know if I have to worry too much because I'm not like some big creator yet, but anyways,
Let's
so
get to
yeah.
the show.
But anyways, now off of the general stuff. So let's talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I kind of did. Was there anything else you wanted to promote or anything like that before? I know you said you.
Back Fembat Volume 1 on Fund My Comic. I have a t-shirt and comic book combo. I'll have starting a sale Monday and Tuesday. Comic book and t-shirt, Fembat t-shirt. Normally priced for the combo is $50. I'm slashing it $10 off, $40. Bam.
And you can share a link if you have it
I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to straighten out the prices on it for the special. So I'm gonna do that real quick.
All right.
I'll promote it tomorrow though.
Yeah. And I think didn't you guys have a Rex Apex Hex and Rex show or
Rex Hex and Apex. That's September Hex. It's on Hex's channel, Quantum Age Comics. I'm hoping he can get Jill. What's her name? I forget her name. God. Oh yeah. That lovely lady. I forget her name. Oh, anyway, hopefully he'll get a guest on. I believe it's sometime in September, and the next Rex Hex and Apex show in October, I'll have Jason Bascom, Unhinged Comics, and Ink Spots promoting Frog G on Fund My Comic.
Yeah, you just had one. What was it, yesterday or something as well?
No, we had it last Saturday. We had Mike Gustovich, famously known for writing and drawing Justice Machine and Cobalt Blue, among other things that he's done for DC and Marvel back in the late 70s and 80s. Great interview. Check it out on Devil Flyer Momentum channel.
Well, I know there's been a lot of promo going on. I mean, well, even I went, I guess Rick had a chance to be interviewed by Chris Braley for Bleeding Fool. I actually covered that article the other day.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, are you still putting the link up?
I am, but you keep talking to me. I keep getting distracted. Just give me a moment. It's all right. see.
I'm just waiting so I can like highlight it for you.
Oh yeah, of course. Give me a second. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. There's my link. Everybody check it out. I've had some t-shirts. They're beautiful designs. Dan Lawless Fembat t-shirt, Omer Glitch t-shirt, which I call the seducer. Looks like she's about to wrap her leg around your shoulder and about to seduce you. And of course, my own very own design, my own color Fembat with brass wings and globular bobas. You'll love it. It's $35 each, or go with the comic book and t-shirt combo. You save money at $50 for a t-shirt and a comic. So you're saving some money. Bam.
All right. So, anything more you want to mention
No,
before we?
I
All
don't know.
right. So, with that being done and said, then why don't we get into the, as they like to call in the theater, the main attraction, as it were. So tonight, we're of course continuing our trip down Comics History Lane. Continuing our trip through June of 1940. This week we're focusing in on comics that went on sale from Centaur Publishing. We'll be, of course, looking at Amazing Mystery Funnies number 23, Amazing Man, well, possibly Amazing Man number 15, depending upon the time and stuff, and Masked Marvel number 1. So we'll be reading we'll be trying to read 2 features from each. We're going to start off with Amazing Mystery Funnies first, and then Masked Marvel, and then Amazing Man. So right now it'll be Phantom of the Fair, Speed Centaur, the Masked Marvel, and Gentleman of Misfortune. That was an interesting title. So,
oh boy.
And then if depending on where we're at after those 4, because I'm going to try to get it to about an hour 45 today. So that's what I'm aiming for in terms of time. So depending upon where we're at when we get through those 4 stories, we might even include another double dose, this time with, of course, Mini Midget and Mighty Man.
I want to be Mini Midget.
Well, if we get there.
Right.
So we'll cross that, as the saying goes, we'll cross that bridge. We'll get to it. And of course, before we do get started, one last friendly reminder before we get started. If you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions the best of our ability. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
I just pulled up this page and now I got the signal went back up to full, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen this when you do your shows or not, but sometimes if the signal there becomes an issue with the signal, there'll usually be a little box with the signal bars in between the time and the view count. I don't know if you've seen that before.
No.
But alrighty then. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. And so we're going to first start out from Amazing Mystery Funnies. Let's see. And I guess since you wanted to do Mini Midget, that was going to be the first one. So I guess I'll do the narration, and you want to do the Phantom.
Sure.
And then we'll figure out the rest of it as we go along. So, Amazing Mystery Funnies, number 23, August. There's the Phantom of the Fair right there.
Look at that. He's a swinging.
Yeah. It's on a girder. That's a girder right there.
That is risky. That guy fall and kill himself. Land on a girder and fall on him.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of funny too, though. And I've seen a number of cartoons from like the 30s and stuff like that in particular. There was a lot of construction going on around that. I mean, if you saw a lot
Yeah.
of Golden Age cartoons
Mm-hmm.
or even Golden Age comics,
Yeah.
this was a common scene, particularly when they would depict cities. That there was a lot of construction going on, a
Yeah.
lot of girders, a lot of building material. So
Guys
you
eating
know,
their lunch on a girder like 40 stories high
yeah,
without a care in the world.
yeah. Phantom of the Fair, Space Patrol, Speed Centaur, um, Inner Circle, Fantasy Isle, Larry Kane, John Litton, Big Contest,
Ooh,
Split,
contest.
yeah. Splitting Seconds, the Phantom's Leap into thin air saved the life of the foreman. So look at that.
Looks like the foreman has like a little man bun on top. What's the deal with that? Oh, it must be the wind catching his fall or something. Oh, it's a
Maybe.
bouffant. He's a bouffant hairdo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Phantom of the Fair
Yeah.
by Anders.
Okay.
That was done. I want all those laborers working for the Acme Construction Company to sign up in our union. If necessary, use a little persuasion.
Ooh.
Why don't you do the
You
guy
were,
on the left?
you were told about the union yesterday. Why didn't you join up?
Why should I? We don't need a union. Acme takes care of us.
That's what you think. Make sure you sign up tomorrow or you'll get more of this.
Oh.
Tell your husband to join the union. Oh, sorry. You do that. I'll be the lady.
All right. Tell your husband to join the union, lady. Otherwise, you won't be seeing him much longer.
I don't want you to get hurt. You've got to join this union. Think of the baby.
All right, for your peace of mind, I will.
Cute little guy.
Yeah, you did fine, boys. All the men signed up, and they're kicking in with plenty of dough. But that's peanuts to what I'm going after.
Our men have no kicks yet. They all joined the union. Funny, isn't it?
I can't afford to have any labor trouble. Oh. I can't afford to have any labor trouble, and you know it. That's a different guy altogether.
Mr. Steve Mara to see you, Mr. Martin.
Oh yes, show him in.
You don't seem to understand. I know the terms of our contract. And a delay would cost you many thousands of dollars. A strike might last months. For 25,000, I can guarantee you no labor trouble.
Oh, wait a minute.
And you're,
You know what I'm saying? I think that was supposed to be me.
oh, was it? I can't recognize these people.
Yeah, it's sometimes it is kind of hard. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
What kind of?
So you play both characters.
Yeah. You don't seem to understand. I know the terms of our contract. And a delay would cost you many thousands of dollars. A strike might last for months. For $25,000, I can guarantee no labor trouble. You can't scare me. You cheap racketeer. My men will stick. Will stick. Get out. Better think it over. Let's see. Being head of the union, it was easy to get jobs for his henchmen.
Round up the boys and tell them to go up to Acme and get jobs on the construction. We'll have to give that company a good scare.
Let's see.
Oh.
Well, no, Because
The
I
bottom
see the
first.
arrow.
Yeah.
I see the arrow. I see
Yeah,
the
the
arrow.
arrow. Oh
Arrow
yeah.
goes down, and then I guess to the right.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
I saw it pretty. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the racketeer's evil plan soon becomes evident. The Phantom suddenly appears and I guess left, then upper right, then lower right.
Look, there's Bill. He's safe. Where'd he
But
go?
the Phantom disappears.
Where'd he go?
Let's see. I'm just check. Okay, I guess it's just normal.
Okay. When there's hardly any cement in this mortar, this is sabotage.
Suddenly, with superhuman strength, the Phantom changes the course of the falling beam and grasps a girder, stopping his fall. So I guess unless there's arrows, I think it's supposed to just get
Yeah.
left to right, top to bottom kind of thing. So
This is no accident. No wonder it snapped. This cable is filed down to a hairline. I'm going to throw out every laborer I didn't hire, union or no union. Maybe I'll take it up with the district attorney.
he's getting dangerous. Get rid of him.
Oh. This will teach that foreman to butt in.
The foreman hurtles to the ground when
Ugh.
suddenly, okay, suddenly, kind of a nice little corkscrew they're doing there.
Yeah.
Turn to the paneling there. In spite of his efforts, the Phantom is unable to save the foreman's life.
He's dead. Shot through the heart.
Now here's the thing where again going back to the golden age here.
Yeah.
Going back to it's kind of funny because I read this a lot too when I'm watching a lot of the golden age cartoons, particularly the cartoons in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
But particularly with the cartoons, since a lot of times they were shown as part of a movie, but you'd go to the movies and kind of the warm up act was a cartoon, a newsreel, and a travel log, right?
Yeah. A movie serial.
Yeah, and sometimes a movie serial too. And a lot of times it was usually produced to entertain both kids and adults, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you see that here. This goes under the idea of, was this made for kids? You know how I say that a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, continuing on here. The Phantom heads for the murderer, and like a hawk after his prey, springs upon him. There's the Phantom, and there's the murderer. Huh.
Why did you shoot that man? You'll tell or I'll break your back.
And I think you were that guy too.
Stop! I'll talk. It's not my fault. I had to. I had nothing against the man. Steve Mara forced me to kill him. You dirty rat.
The Phantom dives recklessly off the roof and makes his man.
His way.
His way?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the kind of the way they wrote that, the way they lettered that was a little screwy. Mm-hmm. To Steve Mara's hideout, the Phantom leaps into a group of Steve Mara's henchmen. From the far end of the long room, one of Mara's men points a revolver at the Phantom. Now, mind you, initially this was called Phantom of the Fair. I
Yeah.
think it's still called Phantom of the Fair. Initially, he was operating out of the New York Fair's ground from 1939. So.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the Phantom leaps for the chandelier and...
Your pop gun won't do you any good. Where's Steve Mara?
He's at Acme's new building. All right, I give up. Come to my office tomorrow and you'll get the money.
Steve Mara, you have done the last of your evil deeds.
The Phantom! The Phantom! Suddenly, Steve bolts for the elevator and sends it shooting skyward with the Phantom in swift pursuit. Steve runs toward an elevator on the other side of the building and starts the car earthward. As he pulls the switch, the elevator drops like a plummet, and Mara is dashed to his death.
Caught in your own trap. You didn't know this was your own work of sabotage. The end.
Wow. All right, so we got through the Phantom of the Fair there then. So, overall impressions.
It's a nice, simple, dynamic read. The art's a little funky because you can probably tell which character is which at the beginning.
Well, even the lettering was a little bit hard at times to get at, because I was thinking, man, when that said way.
Yeah.
But this is an 8-pager. The reason I picked these two stories first from them because their combined page total is actually more than. So in this page, it's like 17 pages, 8 and 9, and the other one is 10 and 6, 16, and then the last is the two, with Mini Midget and Mighty Man at 7 pages each, 14. So in total, theoretically, we could end up reading 47 pages of time permitting. But most likely it'll be like 33. Again, time permitting and seeing where we're at when we're... All right, so anything more you want to say on this story before we move on?
Nope.
All right, we'll switch it up. I'll let you go ahead and do the narrator for Speed Centaur. I'll be the main character this time, Speed Centaur, and then you can be his reporter buddy, and get to point him. I'll kind of point him out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as always, we'll figure out the rest of it as we go along. So here's a sci-fi story, Space Patrol. There.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right, here we go. All right, you're the narrator.
Speed Centaur by Malcolm Kildale.
Sea monster strikes. Again, East Coast, shipping tied up.
The USS Ranger sets out to patrol the area of the last disaster. As the aircraft carrier nears the scene of the disaster, a lookout notices an area of black inky water.
Look, sir!
Head for that water. We'll see what it is. Suddenly, the ship shudders from stem to stern, as though it had struck a reef.
Great Scott, sir! Look, the monster!
Tentacles of the sea monster wrap themselves around the aircraft carrier.
So it could be a squid or an octopus or what have you, huh?
Oh, it's huge. And a speedy takeoff, a lone bomber is able to leave the aircraft carrier. As it circles back to drop its bombs, a long arm of the monster reaches up, slamming the plane into the sea.
Wow, imagine flying and then getting whacked by a big tentacle like
Yeah.
dang.
Slowly, the huge aircraft carrier is dragged down to the dark depths of the ocean and home of this horrible monster. Dun, dun, dun. In the Navy Department,
Something must be done. And I think the only thing that will stop this monster is a submarine.
the submarine SRO leaves its base and heads out to sea in search of the monster.
SRO, isn't that a military term as well?
I forget what it stands for. In the submarine, a few hours later.
Prepare torpedo tubes for action. I've sighted it.
As the sub nears the monster, a long arm reaches out to grasp it. Just then, the torpedoes are fired, exploding against the tentacle and tearing it from the body of the monster.
Look at that! Look at that right there on the
Yeah,
left.
nice. Another tentacle reaches for the sub, and before more torpedoes can be released, the sub is in the monster's clutches. The horrible creature swims toward the surface, dragging the sub with it. The tentacle still holding the sub reaches high out of the water and with seeming defiance tosses it high in the air.
Yeesh.
As the submarine crashes back into the water, falling apart from the shock, the monster sinks back to the floor of the ocean to nurse its wounds. News of the sub disaster is the topic of conversation in every town and hamlet in the country, with fear clutching the heart of every citizen. In the office of the Daily Views, Real McCoy ponders.
So, Real McCoy, that's the reporter
I
guy.
must see Speed. He might think of a way out. Next day on Hob Nose Mountain, Speed and Real discuss the situation. That's you.
Yeah, I know. I know all about it, Real. I got the reports over a radio, and I think something can be done. Here's a list of things I want. I don't know how you're going to get them, but have them for me tomorrow morning at Pier 6.
At Pier 6. It was some job, but I got them, Speed. Now what?
Get in the boat and let's go.
Okay, Speed. With a stiff breeze spanking her sails, the sailboat with Speed, Centaur, and Real McCoy heads out to the sea.
Spanking her sails.
Wow.
Quite an interesting term to use.
Yeah, the wind's spanking the sails. Gotta go. Gotta get the power on. All right, next frame.
Yeah.
But Speed, what's the idea of a sailboat? We could reach the area where the monster is in half the time in our motor launch.
That's you. You see, this monster feels the vibrations of the boat of a ship's screws, rises at the sound, and destroys the ship. That's why we have a sailboat. There's no noise.
Oh. There's an area of black water on this port side, Speed.
Sail over there. I'm going to get ready.
Well, I'm all set. We must be near the monster now.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
that
that's you.
was me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all set. We must be near the monster now.
Mm. I wish you would tell me what up you plan to do, Speed.
I'll tell you about it when I come up. If I come up.
So saying, Speed tucks a torpedo under his arm as if it were but a bundle of wood and drops over the side of the boat. Sploosh. The weight of the torpedo carries Speed rapidly down through the inky black water. Speed sinks lower and lower. The pressure is terrific. A normal man would have been unconscious under half the pressure.
Now, you were in the Navy, right?
Right.
So okay. So why do you think a normal man would be unconscious under half the pressure? What?
Because the pressure increases the gravity, and a normal person cannot take that gravity when it reaches deeper into the ocean.
Yeah, I
You can
mean,
crush a tin can if it's further down deep in the ocean like that. You can
yeah.
crush a tin can
And
that.
if I remember correctly, just from what I've heard over the years and stuff like that, isn't when there is when you're trying to adjust to the sudden pressure changes, isn't that called getting the bends or something like that?
I guess.
Yeah. Figured you might know because I know you have the naval background. So.
Mhm. At last, Speed has reached the ocean floor.
Ha! There it is, over there. Why, it's a giant squid.
As Speed walks slowly toward the squid, a huge blue marlin dives at him from above. Speed ducks low and avoids the slash of the blue marlin.
Why, you little cut up?
The marlin turns and dives once more, but this time Speed was waiting for him. With his free hand, Speed grabbed the marlin and smashed it into the ocean floor, killing it instantly.
Well, I hope I don't need any more. I hope I don't need any more of your kind. I came down here to kill one monster, not a dozen.
Mhm. At that moment, a tentacle of the giant squid moves along the floor of the ocean in the direction of the disturbance, and Speed is in its path.
I don't want to get tangled up with this.
Speed steps into one of the many caverns on the ocean floor. The giant tentacle slowly withdrew, taking with it the blue marlin Speed had killed. Speed steps from the cave and follows the tentacle. Suddenly he stops.
Great Scott, what a monster!
For lying on the ocean floor was the giant squid with the wreckage of many ships strewn about it. The tentacle with the marlin curls up and drops the dead brute into the beak-like mouth of the ugly squid.
Quite a few adjectives in there.
Yeah.
Well, at least these writers were good about that, about being very
Mhm.
descriptive in their writing, at least.
Yeah.
So this is the baby I came down to do away with. Well, I'd better not miss, or it's curtains for speed.
The speed walks gingerly between the tentacles of the squid in an effort to reach its head.
Just let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. Just a little further. Now I hope this baby doesn't get affectionate and wrap its arms around me.
Mhm.
Okay, so is it a monster squid or an amiable squid? I don't know.
Monster. Speed is near the head of the monster when the brute spies him. Its beak-like mouth opens wide as it prepares to devour Speed.
Oh, no, you don't. Pal, chew on this a while.
The torpedo flies straight as an arrow into the yawning mouth of the giant squid. There is a muffled explosion as the mouth of the brute clamps down on the torpedo. The ocean floor rumbles as the beast gathers its last ounce of strength and shoots up through the water.
Yeah, the idea of the squid biting down on the torpedo then and it exploding kind of reminded me of the gag they would use a lot in the Tom and Jerry cartoons with the old exploding cigarette, or exploding cigar.
Yeah.
I think Tom and Jerry, there are a few others that did it too. Usually you get the trick cigar and it like blow up.
Yeah.
Right in your face.
A giant squid reaches the surface, dead, but it capsizes the sailboat, tossing Rio into the ocean. Gad, it's got me! Speed follows the squid to the surface, picking up the drowning Rio as he leaps out of the water. Carrying Rio in his arms, Speed streaks across the sky, heading for Knob Nose Mountain. At Speed's cave, Rio is revived.
Phew! I thought you were done for.
What happened? Where's the brute?
He's dead. He was sinking back to the floor of the ocean when we left. He'll never sink another ship.
Well, you've done it again, Speed. I'd better get my story in.
Keep me out of that story. See you soon. Real. So long.
Follow Speed Centaur in a complete new adventure next month.
All right, so that's the last from Amazing Mystery Funnies. So before we move on to, of course, Mass Marvel, any thoughts on this story? Any impressions, thoughts you want to share?
That's kind of a weird relationship with a centaur and a reporter.
Yeah.
Well, they had to do something with it. The giant squid is done for. It is a good, simple story. That's it.
All right. Any like comparisons between the two stories you've read thus far?
They seem like they're both rushed, but yet they got to the point.
Yeah.
That's
well,
fine.
The only reason I ask is because I've one of the things I've noticed of late, at the end of the shows, what I do is I'll ask you guys, okay, which story did you like the best or made the best impression, which story you like the least? And it's been, and a common theme with that of late is that you guys have been having more and more difficulty kind of differentiating overall, as a possible sign that maybe the story is overall getting better. But anyways, 44 minutes, so we're not doing too bad on time thus far. All right, so now we're going to move on to Mass Marvel #1, where we're going to, of course, read. Well, there were 3 Mass Marvel stories in that story, but we're going to just read the first one.
Yeah.
Gentlemen of Misfortune, 10 and 6 pages respectively there. And for Mass Marvel there, you can be Mass Marvel, I'll be the narrator.
Sure.
And we'll figure out the rest of it as we go along. So you got in one story you have the racketeering, the labor racketeering, and then the next story you have the hero battling a squid.
Yeah.
So quite an interesting, quite some interesting story selections there, huh?
Right. Mm-hmm.
This one didn't last too long. Mass Marvel, even though he was one of the main, one of the heroes from Centaur, but and here's the thing: we're in the mid 1940 here. Just to give you a heads up, Centaur would shut down in 1942.
Okay.
So just to give you a heads up there. Mass Marvel #1, September, 10 cents. Mass Marvel releases the magnet just before the model plane with its deadly cargo strikes. Stamp collecting. Don't miss these magazines: Amazing Man Comics, Amazing Mystery Funnies, Phantom Man, Funny Pages, Keen Detective Funnies. Only 10 cents at all newsstands. Every one of them is crammed from cover to cover with exciting, thrilling stories, the kind you've always looked for.
Bring those back, please.
Not the stuff that's being put out right now, right?
No.
Super Sleuth, The Masked Marvel.
That's me.
The Masked Marvel lives only to see criminals come to justice. He pits his keen mind and magnificent courage against America's arch criminals, and thus far has been victorious.
Oh.
An idle cowboy loafs in a city park, watching a boy who is busy examining a small power model airplane.
Having trouble with her, Sonny?
I just found it, mister. It came down out of the sky. Isn't it a beauty?
I'll say it's a beauty. Didn't know they made them that powerful.
But the boy's joy over his newfound toy, nice alliteration there,
Yeah.
is short-lived.
Here, kid. Give me that ship.
But I found it, mister. It's as much mine as it is yours. Until the kid shows up that lost it.
I wouldn't be so rough with a boy of that size, stranger. Who's going to stop me here? Let go, kid, or I'll smack you. I'm going to stop you. I don't like kid slappers. And I don't like Badinsky's. Take this.
But before the bully can fire,
There's something funny about this. Why do you want that plane? Because it's mine. Look at the number on the bottom. 7856J. He's right, kid. I guess you'll have to give it back. Come on, hand it over.
I never have any luck, and it was such a beauty.
Too bad, kid. But I'd rather have a hoss. Where do you live?
You're just a cowboy, and planes are better than horses any day. But sitting nearby in his powerful auto, the masked Marvel sees and hears all.
I'll follow that crook. The plane wasn't a regular power model, and he's not the kind to play with model planes.
Here's something that I've noticed. I think when the word bubble appears more like a cloud,
Yeah.
I think it's more.
He's thinking
He's
it.
not actually saying it; he's thinking it.
Yeah, he's thinking it.
And usually, the trick I usually do to kind of differentiate, like when they're thinking.
Oh, you muffle your voice like that.
I do this. Yeah, you get what it.
Yeah, right.
Just kind of a way to vary things up a little bit.
Right. There he goes. I'll trail him. There's something deep and dangerous about this. You can play the felon.
Yeah, well, I know, but I think the guy up top there was you, and then
Is it?
I can be the bottom guy.
Oh, there's a suspicious looking car following us. I'm going to spit a little lead in it.
Sure, go ahead. Stopped. The bullets puncture a tire. Crash.
That stopped him. But look, it's the Mass Marvel. Hide the car up the next little lane, and a couple of you sneak back on foot to see what's what.
A cruising police car spots the wreck. It's the masked Marvel.
What happened? Take me to your chief at headquarters immediately. He's going off with the cops.
Come on, let's try to get him before we finish the bank job. The police headquarters.
And I'd like to have one of your men take me to the flying field where I've left my plane.
The crooks have trailed the police car.
The Mass Marvel is too dangerous. Let's blow up the jail and make sure of it.
Boom!
What happened? Some thugs blew this place up, trying to kill me. Here, get to work. We've got to get aid for these men.
But when help comes, the Mass Marvel goes manhunting.
Thanks for the car. I'll leave it at the flying field.
Okay. So manhunting or manhunter.
Yeah.
That was actually more of a common term back in that time period, back in the 30s there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the context of it was? Do you know what it was usually when people would use the term manhunter in like the 30s and 40s? What they were talking about?
Use it to hunt down criminals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, FBI was. You'd see that term a lot in like a lot of the. Well, as you know, there were actually a couple of DC heroes. Well, one was originally a quality hero.
Yeah.
Who eventually became who were named Manhunter. But Manhunters was a common law enforcement term, meaning to hunt down, those who would hunt down criminals. At the crooks' headquarters. Fine work, boys. Now that the Mass Marvel's out of the way, we're sitting pretty.
You sure have a smart way of cracking banks, boss.
All right, we even have a little arrow that can guide us a little bit, going from right to left there, but we start off the left to right, rather. Well, Jordan, what's up?
Boss, the Mass Marvel wasn't killed when the jail went up. He's out to get us.
You fools! Stupid idiots! I'll do this job myself. We're not safe until that Mass Marvel is dead.
Okay, boss. But how you gonna do it?
Marvel's got one weakness. He likes kids. You said something about a kid in the park this morning,
Cully.
Culling? Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was. I was just trying to get a better look at it.
Sure, boss. The Marvel must have seen us take the model plane away from the kid, and that's why he followed us.
Okay, go and snatch that kid. Bring him back here, and I'll do the rest.
Right.
Let's see.
An hour later.
Okay, so it's top left, right, bottom left.
Right.
And an hour later, well, I was trying to see where the arrows were going. That's why.
I know.
An hour later.
I got him, boss, but he's fighting the little rascal.
You're going to get the masked marvel here by writing a note telling him to come here and save you.
That's you too, right?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I've heard of the Marvel, and he's a swell guy. I won't do it. All right. We'll make the kid wish he played along with us, but we'll get the masked marvel anyhow. Write him a note and send the kid's cap and shirt with it. So
Yeah.
that was another common trend back in terms of kidnap, especially when you kidnap kids, right? You'd send like proof that we have them.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the masked marvel is on a strange mission.
I'm known as the Masked Marvel, and I'm investigating a serious crime. Do you sell any model planes and parts to grown men?
Yes, lots of them, but mostly for their kids.
But have you any adult customers who buy a lot of stuff from you?
No, they usually buy a few pieces at a time.
Never mind. I'll try the next model plane store.
Back at the Masked Marvel's laboratory study.
I'm stumped, ZR. There are some killers loose and I can't find them.
Here's a package for you. A messenger left it half an hour ago.
They say they've got that kid I saw in the park this morning. And if I don't bring $10,000 to their hangout in an hour, they'll torture and kill him.
It's a trap. You better watch your step.
Sure, it's a trap, a death trap. But if I don't go, they'll kill that boy. You get ZY and follow me in half an hour.
Yeah, I don't know if you had read the Masked Marvel before with me, but his aides, he's got like 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
And they have like those kind of like ZY. I don't remember the other 2 off the top of my head here, but they have those little like two letter code names kind of things.
All right.
Yeah. After a quick trip, the Masked Marvel knocks on the door. Knocks on the killer's door.
You're the kid, right?
Oh yeah, but I was trying. Funny place to put the end there though. The tail.
Yeah.
Don't come in, Marvel. It's a.
Shut up, kid. Conk on brunt.
While inside, huh?
Yeah. I think a side window would I think a side window call would be safer. Shh. So here I come, boys. All right, keep them up, you killers.
I knew you'd do it, Marvel.
Hello, son.
But the boss killer um, has a tricky left secret button.
Hmm. Oh.
Up with your hands and don't turn around.
Hmm.
At that moment, ZR and ZY enter the room. But the boss killer has disappeared.
Notify the police to come and get these thugs. I'm going to get their boss.
Packing in Mass Marvel's car,
I want to see that you get home safely so they won't get you again. Where do you live?
I haven't any parents. I just sleep in basements or in the park.
Then I'm going to take you to a friend of mine. What's your name?
Everybody calls me Brad. Gee, but you're swell. Late that evening,
Now, Brad, you eat your dinner and go to bed. You need a good sleep.
I bet the Marvel will soon get the boss killer. Next morning,
Hmm.
strange explosion. Uh, Stettletown. Even the experts are unable to amount
Count.
to account for the explosion. I just read the first few lines
Yeah.
of the paper. I'm not going to read the whole, or
Oh,
try to read it.
all right.
What's the matter, Marvel?
Nothing. But I've just solved those explosions at the bank and the jail yesterday. You stick around here and I'll see you later.
Hmm.
At the,
Yeah, I know. I just had to
mm,
got anyways.
yeah.
At the police station.
And that
Whoa,
explosion at the steel yard proves I'm right. That magnet happened to catch.
ho ho! You're crazy, Marvel. That sounds like something out of a book.
We just got this message, Chief.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Tick tick.
Yeah.
Listen to this, Marvel. Deliver the masked Marvel to us by 10 this morning. Drive, or let's see, or we will blow up. We will blow up the city hall, the art museum, and kill 10,000 innocent people. Signed, Wings. There's a P.S. We'll name the place later.
And you're tempted to do it, aren't you, Chief?
I'd hate to see those 10,000 people get killed, Marvel. Let's see. I think in this case the chief. That's me both ways anyway. So
You.
10,000 people, the city hall and art museum. What would you do in my place, Marvel? The decision.
I'd let the masked Marvel loose before I can get those killers when they try their first explosion.
Maybe I'm foolish, Marvel, but I'm betting on you. The lives of 10,000 people are in your hands.
You're making a good bet, Chief. Wish me luck.
You like my attempt at an Irish or Scottish accent?
Yeah, they're always cops.
Uh, at the hangar where the masked Marvel has his plane.
The boss thinks Marvel is going to fly this morning, so I'll hang a magnet on that plane of his. damn Bluey. I'm
Later.
shoving, I'm shoving off in the plane for a look around.
Okay, Chief. I'll stick around and look after things.
I wish I could locate someone playing with a toy power plane. Those killers are close to town. Ah, here comes a little power plane now. Good grief, it's heading for this plane.
The masked Marvel looks, locks the controls, and takes a desperate chance. Now look at it. Now this is another stunt that was seen a lot in the Golden Age.
Yeah, wing walking.
People like walking out on the wings.
That's yeah. Just as I thought, a magnet tied under the wheels of my plane.
Okay. Having released the magnet, the masked Marvel throws it in the path of the oncoming model plane. Boom!
Hurry, I get that big magnet and tie it to the plane by the long cable. Then come with me.
Right. And with the magnet hanging from his plane, the Marvel circles over City Hall.
It's just 10. I'll watch to see where that model plane comes from.
The explosive-filled toy strikes the hanging magnet. Boom!
There, I've got those bombers now. There's a small magnet on the City Hall, and those little planes are made of highly sensitized steel that will pitch up a magnet miles away. Let's go. Cut the cable and drop that magnet. I'm going after those fellows. I signaled the police to follow, but I'm not waiting for them.
Crash!
Hello, boys. Time to pay up.
Good work, Marvel.
It was simple, Chief. After I read about that magnet exploding at the steel yards this morning.
Later.
Someone must have overheard you wish for a power plane, Brad.
Gee, the Marvel is one swell guy. The end. All right, so there we go with that story. Probably the longest individual story of the night with 10 pages.
Yeah.
So, hey, Rick. Rick's here. Hey, Rick.
Hello, Rex.
Thanks for popping in.
Hey,
Friendly
Rick.
reminder to everybody, of course, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. All right, so we will try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. Sorry, but with that, so before we move on to the next story, the gentleman of misfortune. Oh, you still here? I guess he must have stepped away for a moment. I was just about to ask him if his impressions, but I guess we'll just have to wait till he gets back. So, oh, there you are.
All right. Well, this is more of a kind of an all ages story. You have the saboteur being captured, and things explode. You have a young kid involved, and he has a model plane at the end of the story. It's a cute story.
You knew what I guess you heard it, but you stepped away for a moment. So
yeah, I'll blow my nose.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, anything more you want to say on it before we continue on to the next one? All right.
No.
You just want to get to the story and get into the action, huh?
Yes.
All right. So let's see. So then, and then there are a couple other Mass Marvel, but I think these are actually reprints. That's part
That's
of the reason
enough.
why we're not
Yeah.
there.
Nah.
But we're gonna get to the Gentleman of Misfortune. Will be our next
Okay.
story here.
Yeah.
I think we're just past the 1 hour mark. So I think we're actually making good time. We might actually get all 6 done tonight. All 6 stories. You know.
Mhm.
Of course, I think part of it too is we haven't been doing a lot of real analyzing or commenting too much on the stories as we've been going. Let's see.
Yeah.
There's a text story there. Fade away 4. Kind of a varsity story type right there. Actually, no, not a var. That's a coon. I thought for a moment there that was a football helmet, but that's actually.
Right.
There we go, Gentlemen of Misfortune. Okay, so now I'll let you do the narration, and I'll do the main characters, and then we'll
Yeah.
figure out the rest of it as we go along.
Okay. Gentleman of Misfortune by Harold Hughes.
It's those darn planes again, Skipper. I wonder where they come from. Got me worried.
Don't know, Briggs. No other planes besides our own registered in this district. The silent tropical night is suddenly shattered by the unmistakable roar of airplane motors. High above the impenetrable jungle, 3 huge birds form a weird pattern in the moon-flooded sky.
Yeah, well, we should have probably read that before. It's one of those rare occasions where probably right to left was probably the correct pattern there. But anyways, I hope there's no trouble, Skipper. Tell the truth. They've got me plenty worried. Supposing they was a.
Yeah, I know what you want to say. I suppose they were a rival outfit. They could put us out of business. Yeah, I know. Listen, that must be Archer coming in. Hello, Archer. Did you see any of the thing of those planes?
Did I see those holes? See those holes? They weren't put there by woodpeckers. I saw those planes skim by, and of course, being of a curious nature, I followed them. Then smack! I ran into a swarm of hornets.
So,
No,
yeah,
I think that's me. That's
that's
the
you.
older guy.
That's you.
So those devils are armed then.
Is that
There's
me?
narration at the bottom left hand
No.
corner there.
Next morning, some other more immediate business occupies Skip Sheridan's mind. Is that you or me?
Because I think
Oh,
you're Skip Sheridan.
oh, blazes! The bad luck all seems to come my way at once. This is going to be a tough task.
Gentleman of Misfortune, I guess. And you want to do the lady as well there?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Vivian. I came to talk to you about your brother. Oh, come in. You've always had it in for me. Why, I don't know. I've given your brother every break I could think of. Of course, the other fellows have been harsh, but he seems to have lost his nerve altogether lately. He's balked at taking up almost all his flights. It's an imposition to ask other fellas to take over his duties. I know what you're going to say. You'll have to get a new man. Is that me again? Oh.
Later, back at the airport, you can't let me go, Sheridan. Give me another chance. Just one more. I can't go back to the States. You know that.
I've given you hundreds of chances, Jimmy. I guess you just weren't cut out for this type of flying down here. You can stay in your quarters till your ship comes. I hate to do that to the kid, but I had to. Say, by the way, Briggs, I want you to meet Eric Strom. He'll take over Lester's duties.
Pleased to meet you, Strom. Say, boss, Archer hasn't come in yet, and I can't contact him. The static is fierce. I never heard the likes of it before.
Am I narrating?
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, many miles away, Archer flies serenely on to his death.
Remember, I'm narrating the odd stories. You're narrating the even stories because partly because you had wanted to do mini midget, and I told you mini midget. I think was the first story.
Am I Skip again? Oh,
yeah.
Is it,
actually, no. That's Archer.
All right, sorry. You're Archer, right?
Yeah. Right. Skip will be interested to know that we have rivals on our airwaves. Propagandists, a secret broadcasting unit, and it's right close to. Oh no! Uh-oh! Here comes those strange planes. I guess there ain't much hope for him, boss. He's fine. He's 5 hours overdue. Now, and we haven't heard from him. And to think he took Jimmy Lester's flight for him.
Poor Archer.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're the one that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Okay.
Too bad Strom has to take this tough flight. His first day here.
We have to send him. Can't reserve any pilots. Briggs, tell Skeets to send word to Allen that we need another flyer. Much more of this bad luck and we'll lose out altogether.
Come here a minute, Skip. I've made a discovery. I know what causes that static now. A strange broadcasting station. It's foreigners broadcasting propaganda directed against the USA.
Oh,
that's Skip.
Okay, the picture is getting much clearer now. Those strange planes.
We can't send or receive any messages while they're in the neighborhood, Skip.
Those foreign planes were more than likely convoying supplies to that station. And Archer, he probably got too close to their secret station, and they shot him down.
You hit her on the head, Skip. That's just about what happened.
I'm gonna look into this, Briggs. Can you estimate how far away that station might be?
Well, according to the intensity of the static, I'd say within 100 miles radius. and it must be near the route to the Palmero mine. That's the route Archer took.
I'm taking off tomorrow and run down the exact location of that station. Then we'll deal with those birds in our own fashion.
Birds was another common term back in those days. It had a few meanings. One
Yeah,
was nefarious individuals, but also there were times women were called birds too.
right. Well, let's roll her out, Red. I want her gassed and ready at dawn.
Okay, Skip. Going places. Going places too.
Hmm. Hardly before the sun has crawled above the tropical horizon, Skip Sheridan is off on his hazardous journey. Well, if I'm not back in 7 hours, they can notify the American consulate and come looking for my dead body. Well, I'm about 80 miles out now. It should be around here close. Uh-oh, just as I thought. Poor Archer's plane shot down in cold blood. I must be getting near to the rat's lair. As I suspected, there's the radio station and the clearing for their planes. Now I'll make a hasty notation on my map and... Oh, they spotted me. Well, I won't be as easy a target as Archer was.
There's narration below that.
Skip does a quick dive into the ravine and hedge hopping along the jagged cliffs. Through his superior knowledge of the rough terrain, Skip is able to elude his pursuers. 45 minutes later, back at his home port. Briggs, get all the men together in the office. We've a little work to do.
What's up, Skip?
Gentlemen, I want 3 volunteers. We're faced with a difficult task, and I want the men who come with me to do so of their own free will.
Count me in as number one, Skip.
We're all with you, Skip. Take any of us.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Our objective is a secret radio station at this point. Now, my plan is to approach them, flying low so they won't spot us, then drop our nitroglycerin on them.
Nitroglycerin. Wow. They must be planning on making a major explosion there.
Yeah. Briggs, have the mechanics fuel up the 2 new ships, and we'll put in enough of this soup to give our friends a mighty agonizing case of indigestion.
That'll do it all right, Skip. Ship's all ready, Skip. Let's go, Skip.
Is that you?
Well, that might... Sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Briggs, but your friends are not going anyplace. I think it would be most unkind of you to drop TNT on my countrymen. Oh, that was I guess that was the newest guy, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But anyways.
Meanwhile, out on field, young Jimmy Lester's curiosity is aroused.
The two new planes. The 2 new planes. Warming up at this time of day. Something must be amiss. So they're going out to bomb those foreigners, and that spy Strom is stopping them. Shooting you would be most distasteful. So make no suspicious moves. I'll show him. I'll prove to him I ain't yellow. Good, a map with the locations here. So one of your brave lads is going to carry out your mission. It's Lester Briggs. You're going to radio my friends a warning. I doubt if I can contact them. Shut up. Keep calling ZX and Y till you get an answer. I notified them to keep open to the station. That's it. According to the map, it looks like I've taken them by surprise. No planes around.
With the wheel lash the plane, I'll fly straight over the buildings, and I can drop the TNT out the door.
Actually, I think that was me.
I thought I was Skip.
Yeah, but Skip isn't the one who took off in the plane.
Oh,
it was Jimmy Lester. It was the kid.
Oh, that's Jimmy. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Jimmy. All right.
Yeah. With the wheel lashed to the plane, will fly straight over the building, and I can drop and I can drop the TNT out of the door. This ought to make a direct hit. Happy landing! Boom!
Then the air is rent with 2 more explosions in quick succession. Boom! Boom! Meanwhile, back at the home port.
Listen, explosions. My contact's gone dead. Lester hit his mark. What? Impossible.
Meanwhile, high above Jim Lester.
Look, Hans. Quick. A pilot bombing our station. We'll dive on him. Storm lit out of here like a scared rabbit.
Poor Jimmy. They must have got him. I don't know what I'll do without him, Skip. Please, let me take care of you, Vivian.
Yeah, I'm sure he does want to.
Yeah. Sometime later.
My name is Mons.
Manos. Yeah.
Manos. Okay. Manos. Special agent for the government. I'm investigating a rumor of a foreign broadcasting station in this vicinity.
Yes. Yes, I know, Mr. Manos. But you need not investigate further. I'm just one jump ahead of you. You may rest assured that you will have no more mysterious broadcasts from this vicinity. The end.
All right. So, overall impressions.
That's a good little strip. Had some confusion with that little Jimmy character or whatever his name is. He looked like an adult inside that plane. I got him confused with Skip a little bit.
Well, I think he's a young man. I think he's probably like maybe at the youngest, maybe late teens, but most likely early 20s. As compared, like Briggs, he's probably like in his like maybe 40s or 50s. Skip Sheridan's probably in his like 30s.
Right.
I think most of the people there are probably somewhere in their 20s and 30s, including Jimmy. So
yeah,
that's just my guess on it.
Right.
So an hour 28.
That's good enough.
Yeah, four stories. Okay, and and I think by the time we get through talking about like best of, worst of scenario and get through this day and age history, we'll get pretty close to the 144 mark I'm trying to hit for. So, all right. So with that being said, so we did read 4 stories tonight. Which of those 4 stories did you like the best or made the best impression on you, and why?
I like the Phantom of the Fair. He's a mystery circus guy, I think. I think they never really revealed who he is or his origin. He's just a mystery man. I assume he's from a circus trapeze artist. That's why he's able to swing very easily across the skyscrapers and things like that. He seems to have he's a nice mystery man to actually look into more adventures.
Yeah. Well. Here's a little clarification for you. So, Phantom of the Fair, Mass Marvel, basically 5 of the 6 stories that we were reading tonight are established characters. We actually did read the origin story kind of Phantom of the Fair. He was linked, as I mentioned to you, he was originally linked to the at least in Centaur's universe. In Centaur's universe, he was linked. He was basically linked and originally operated out of the 1939 World's Fair.
Yeah.
So, so there is an origin there. We did actually talk about it. It's just that, of course, now we're up to issue 23. He's been an established character. Fact, the Phantom of the Fair eventually became Phantom Man, and they actually even had a book, and there was a book with Phantom Man in it, but Phantom Man number 2 as well. But at least this month here, it was basically all reprints. So that's why we didn't read that one tonight. So the one you liked the best was Phantom. So why did you like the Phantom of the Fair story the best?
I had skyscrapers. He's swinging. He's saving people. He has this extraordinary strength of grabbing a girder and knocking it out of the sky for some reason. He's just different.
Yeah.
That's why. And I like the first splash page of him. It looks more like Art Nouveau. Nice clean figure there. Has a bit of a pointy boots. Like he was drawn, of course, in the maybe early 20s or something. Yeah.
All right. Anything more you want to say on that before we get to the next one? All right. No. All right. So now of course the next question that comes to mind. We now asked you which story you liked the best or made the best impression on you. So in contrast, which story did you like the least or made the least impression on you, and why?
I can't think of one. They're like the same. They're sort of the same, but they're different. I think a lot of these writers, they only had so much of a time constraint to write the stories, and the artists have to rush it through. They have to finish up at least maybe 2 or 3 days. That's when you have this Iger sweatshop or whoever owns these sweatshops to make comics. They have such a tight deadline that the art kind of suffers in it when it's all finished. But they have to get it out quickly.
Yeah, as I understand of the time period at the time, of course, DC is National Publications and Marvel as Timely Comics. They each had their own companies, their own like publishing houses, right?
Right.
But a lot of the other companies like Centaur, Quality, I think, was part of that Fiction House. A lot of these other maybe lesser known companies that aren't around today.
Yeah.
A lot of their work was actually coming from a group that was led by Will Eisner. Will Eisner was actually leading the group, and what they were doing, they were writing all these stories for all these different, publications. But they would have to, they'd end up having to use a bunch of pseudonyms because, of course, if one company found out that these guys were doing work for another company as well, that would probably not go over too well.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, as I have noticed, I think Will Eisner and his group of people, actually worked on a number of stories for a number of different publications. They weren't just necessarily just contracted out to just one particular even though I think at the time most of the publications thought that they were the only ones with access to their talent, but that just wasn't the case. Because I know that Eisner and the people around him were selling a lot of stories they'd sell stories to Quality, to Centaur, to Fiction House, to a few of them. So
Right.
So that's what. But yeah, so well, it's kind of funny that you're saying you have a hard time finding which one you made the least impression, and saying how they all seem more or less similar to you, because that's kind of what we've been running into the last couple of months here, at least, maybe a little longer, where making those comparative statements, it's like it's not such a gap in terms of best and worst stories, or best, most like, least like stories,
Yeah.
whereas maybe a while back the gap was kind of like this, right, or even larger.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of more like, kind of like coming like this, where the gap, okay, it's not as great, but I think a lot of that shows you something too. You've been doing this with me a while now, and you notice one of the other things I've been asking you guys about is, and I'll ask this again. I don't know if you can give much of a updated answer or what to this question, but you've been doing this with me for a while, just like RJ has, just like Metal has, just like Rick has, compared to some of the stories we were reading together when you first started with me, and now, how would you kind of overall rate the progression of the publication of comics at this point? Would you say they got better, worse? What do you think are some? What do you think are? Have you seen any like significant like changes from the stories we read when you first started to, what things you think maybe they still might need to improve on? Just overall, just give your thoughts on the progression of the comics up to this point, as we're up into June of 1940 here.
Well, there's really not much of a change, I've noticed. They're not basically the same type of quality put out. The only thing that are different characters and different stories.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like
because
I'm
I'm going through all the comic universes, right?
Yeah. Some of them are a little more exciting than others, of course. It's a matter of opinion.
Right. From what you've seen from the stories that we have read together and stuff like that, would you say that you have somewhat of an idea of how, let's say, some companies, let's say like what we now know of today as, like, let's say like DC or Marvel, or even Archie, because Archie was active at this point too, even though Archie, even though as MLJ Enterprises, they were a little bit different than what we would come to know as Archie. Would you say you kind of notice any differences between the companies that are that you would say are still around today from this time period, even though they're under different names, and the ones that did kind of somehow die out in the 40s and maybe 50s?
Do I see a change for these different companies? Is that what you're asking, or what?
Okay, so with where we're at right now, you'd say that you don't, based on what I'm getting from what you guys have been, when I've asked particularly the best of worst of questions, right?
Yeah.
That at this point there does seem to be some kind of stabilization in production quality, right?
Right.
There's not really a huge gap in between the stories. It's not like you have one real good one and one real bad one. The gap in terms of production quality has shrunk. That's one of the points I'm getting at here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm asking in this particular case, what I'm asking kind of as a follow-up to all this, and I know you've read some DC and more. I know you read at least one Marvel story. Me, the whole Mariner, because I know you read Mariner and Human Torch with me before.
Right.
Would you say, based on what we've read and what you've observed as we've been doing this, right?
Mm.
Do you see anything going on right now in this time period of June 1940? Do you see anything within the story quality or in the art or just the whole production value in general, the publication value in general, where you kind of have a better understanding, or no, okay, oh, this is why let's say like DC, Marvel, Archie are still around, and why let's say like Centaur, Quality, Hillman, Fiction House are not around. I mean, we kind of know why like Fawcett and Quality are not around anymore, because they eventually got bought up by DC. But what I'm asking is, what do you think the difference is? What do you think the difference is with the companies, the ones that did survive to present day?
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice any difference between the ones that survived to present day as compared to the ones that didn't?
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of an improvement on the storytelling from coming to the present day. Well, present day being taken over by these far left libtards, and that hasn't really improved. They pretty much made it worse. They made it pretty much about themselves and not about the characters.
Well,
and then
I'm not
back in the day, and
yeah.
of course, it's all about the characters, all about the stories. And that's drastically changed all the way up to like maybe 2015 or 2016.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't even, basically what I was asking was your observations of kind of the evolutionary process of comicdom compared to then and now. That's where I was trying to go with that. Granted,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, the stuff that's coming out today, like as we said, as of the, let's say, the last 10 years here, 10, 15,
Right.
2015 to now. Okay, some people would say that is kind of a garbage shoot, because of the whole woke influence.
Right.
I'm not necessarily even talking as much about that, but obviously some of these bigger names like DC and Marvel have been able to stick around to this point. What I was trying to get at is, do you see anything here, as you've seen the, what I'm asking is, in the evolutionary process here of comicdom, right? I know I'm saying it in a real fancy way, but I think you are starting to maybe understand where I'm going with it. But I hope you are, anyways. Do you see anything? Do you see any of the evidence or anything within the stories that we're reading now, from like 39, 40, and all that, that you can say, oh yeah, I can understand why this company lasted and this company didn't. I can see why. Okay, DC is still with us, and maybe Centaur didn't. Do you see anything in terms of the production quality? Why some comics survived to this very day, while others did kind of die out in the 40s and 50s.
Well, a lot of the times why it died in the 40s and 50s is, of course, the war is over. People, the superhero titles are not as profitable as they used to be, and it's changed different genres. They've gone more into the Crime Stoppers. The Western stories are being developed in science fiction and romance.
Well, also romance comics were starting to become pretty big in the late 40s and 50s too.
Right. Yeah. But I think the quality and the storytelling from that hasn't really changed much, in my opinion. I don't think it has. Maybe the drastic change you would see is maybe late 50s, early 60s to start to actually tell stories of modern times. Art imitating life that goes on in those
Well,
periods.
of course, there in the late 40s there was kind of the slowdown of the superhero title. People were kind of getting tired of the superhero titles.
Yeah.
And then that started to pick up again in the late 50s. And then you had some of the influence of the whole situation with seduction of innocence involved in that too, and the establishment of the Comic Code Authority that played into some of it too. I get that. But I was just, and you know why I'm asking these questions, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It kind of gets you thinking about it. It's just kind of like getting more into these universes and understanding how they developed, right?
Right. Yeah.
A little bit more deep thinking about it. Just
sure.
These thought-probing discussions can be pretty. Anyways, we're 148 here, so what I'm going to do now, of course, is all right. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to this weekend in each history, and then we'll wrap things up. So today is, of course, Sunday, August the 10th, 2025. So let's take a look back at this this weekend rather, in Nietzsche history. So first off, we're going to go back to yesterday. Now, first off, I'm going to head back 15 years ago yesterday, as on this date, 15 years ago yesterday. As I pull that up. Let me find it. Okay. On this date, 15 years ago yesterday, American voice actor George DeCenzo passed away at the age of 70 on this day. And the reason George DeCenzo is somebody that we, of course, want to talk about here from the animation perspective, because this is the guy who, of course, provided the voice. He was a title character, Black Star, in the Filmation cartoon Black Star, as well as being a number of voices for She-Ra, Princess of Power, including, of course, Hordak, along with Bo and Red Hawk. He also provided the voice of Lou Albano in Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. He also provided the voice of Ubu in Batman animated series, and he was the commander in the Animaniacs episode Put It on the Blitz. So on this date, or on yesterday's date rather, 15 years ago, George DeCenzo passed away at the age of 70. And moving on to the year 2020, as on yesterday's date, 5 years ago yesterday, the year 2020, James Harris, known professionally as the Ugandan giant Kamala, passed away on this date 5 years ago at the age of 70. He was, of course, known for his time, particularly in the WWE, being one of the monsters that Vince McMahon Jr. would bring in to, battle Hulk Hogan on several occasions. He was like 6'7", well over 300 pounds. He was unfortunately somebody who did suffer some major health issues later in life that did eventually lead to his passing. So on this, let's see. According to his wife, Harris tested positive for COVID-19 on August 5th, 2020, and was hospitalized. He likely contracted it from one of his numerous weekly visits to the dialysis center. Because he had contracted the virus, he started to experience complications from his diabetes. He then went into cardiac arrest on August 9, 2020, before dying later that afternoon at the age of 7. I remember when this happened and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but again, I think he developed diabetes later in life and ended up passing away at the age of 70. So
Yeah.
on this date 5 years ago today, Kamala, not to be confused with Kamala Harris.
God, no.
I know we make that joke quite a bit, but on this date on yesterday's date 5 years ago, James Harris, known professionally as the Ugandan giant Kamala, passed away at the age of 70.
Mm.
Now getting on to today's date, of course. Let me just let's see, 2005 and 85, all right.
Mm.
All right. So first, I'm going to head back 40 years ago today. As on this date, 40 years ago today. Let's see. Toei Animation's Odin Photon Stellar Starlight premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 1985. Also known as Odin's Starlight Mutiny, is a 1985 Japanese science fiction anime film produced by Yoshinobu Nishizaki's Westgate Corporation, which was previously known for Space Battleship Yamato, also known in the States here as Star Blazers. It was directed by Toshio Masuda, with a music score by Hiroshi Miyagawa, both of whom worked on the Yamato series. So, 40 years ago today, Odin Photon Sailor Starlight, also known as Odin Starlight Mutiny, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date 40 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyways. And finally, as soon as I make do here. And finally, on this day, I believe it's going to be 2005. Let me just make sure of that. Yeah, on this date, 20 years ago today, back in 2005, the 40th issue of Fables from DC's Vertigo imprint went on sale on this date back in 2005. Sold for $275, 32 pages. The story written was He's Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage, 22 pages. And written by Bill Willingham. Penciled by Mark Buckingham.
Yeah.
Inked by Steve
Leola. Yeah.
And lettered by Todd Klein. And colored by Daniel Pazzo.
Yeah.
So I take it you know these people.
I do.
All right. So on this date, do you know this title?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's very popular back in the early 2000s. Bill Willingham.
I mean, here they have 40, and I think it went up to what, like 60 issues or something like that.
60 or 70 issues, I think. Bill Willingham was the creator of the Elementals back in the early 80s, and which first appeared in Justice Machine Annual #1. First appearance of the Elementals. And then after Willingham sold the Elementals to another company, he went on to DC, created Fables, and that was a bigger hit. A lot of readers reading the Fables. And he sold that to another company, I think DC got some royalties, and Willingham got maybe a percentage of the royalties.
Well, according to this, it's a title that's still apparently currently still running, but I don't. But
yeah,
the last entry here is from December 2023.
Oh, so, yeah, they restarted it, I think, and the numbering was pretty much the same.
Yeah, it went up to 160 issues.
Okay, so, the last ones I've read were like the early 2000s.
Yeah. According to this, it ran pretty much from 2002 to 2023, based on based on the information we have here. So,
Right.
so
Yeah.
all right. So with that then, um, with that then, of course, now that we've finished with all that, before we head out, Apex, any last like promotions or anything like promotions links you want to share, anything like that? You know, stick right.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Let me figure out. Give me a moment. Oh, where? No, that's not it. What do I? Uh, what do I? Oh, here we go. Present. And okay. And go. Sure. Yes, Fembat Volume 1 on Fund My Comic. Buy it today. We have the new tiers of buy a Fembat Volume 1 book and t-shirt combo for $50. There's the Dan Lawless one right here. You also get the Brett Cantrell, which is me. That's my wraparound cover and my design for the shirt. And Omer Glitch, Omer Garcia III. Got a nice blank sketch cover with the Seducer Fembat t-shirt. All $50, book and shirt. A great deal. $35 the normal price for the shirt and $25 for the comic. You save about $10. Roughly. Yeah. Yeah, that's and let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and play the trailer.
I just put the link up as well just to show people.
Find my comic. Get it today. Oi.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because. Well, I don't know if that was because of. There we go. I don't know if that was because of the fact I had had enlarged that or not.
That's
So,
fine.
but all right. Well, if you can stick around for just a couple minutes afterwards for post show, that'd be appreciated. I won't keep you around too long. Just
all right.
I know it's late where you are, anyways. But with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show.
And catch Tuesday, Hello Comicscape morning show with yours truly, Apex Comics, and I'll have Rick Piper from Cross Comics on promoting Canadian Shield 3.
All right, and with that, I thank everybody for being here. We'll be back here, of course, tomorrow night with more Niche News. So with that, we shall see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.